I looked on my little brother's tablet and saw my dad's messages, and I'm devastated. I don't even know how to feel about this situation. I'm a 19-year-old girl and I have 3 brothers. The first is 17, second is 7, and the last is 4. I was helping my mom out to give my 2 youngest siblings a bath, and I grabbed their tablet to play music since my phone died. This tablet used to be my dad's, but he just gave it to my little brothers to play on it. Anyway, I accidentally hit the Facebook Messenger and it led to my dad's messages, and maybe I am at fault for this next part. I look at the top message from some women I've never heard of. I start to read these messages between my dad and this lady, and they were pretty sexual and too friendly to be friends. Plus my dad has sent shirtless pictures of himself to this woman, and she has sent body pictures to my dad. My parents have been married for almost 20 years this year, and they have been getting along very well recently, and I just don't want to ruin their relationship, but also it hurts to know this information and keep it from my mom. What should I do?
My homeless dad used me in his money scheme, so I took it all. Okay, so the homeless guy is technically my dad. My dad was only in my life actively from ages 0 to 7, and in that time gave me a shit ton of trauma. He was a hardcore alcoholic manipulator and a lot of other things I can't say. My mom being the badass she is left him, and for a short bit we did weekends at his place. It was a never-ending cycle of him drinking, being a piece of shit, and then buying us over with animals and gifts. After getting several DUIs, unpaid child support and a few child endangerment cases, he left to avoid going to jail. Like disappeared, left the animals locked in the house that he abandoned, and shut off his phone. Every few months or so he would randomly show up at my school drunk and crying with gifts in hand, or leave notes on our door. My school literally had to implement a safety plan because my mom was scared he would take me. That stopped and I didn't hear from him for about 13 years. When I was 20 he messaged me on Facebook saying he would love to get to know me and asking if there's anything I need financially. My initial response, sick to my stomach and crying, quickly turned to anger. I was broke and really could use the money, and I mean he owed me, right? I told him I would meet and needed money for rent. When I saw him my stomach turned. He looked like the crazy guy you see on the side of the road begging for money. He really didn't make much sense, just talked a lot of shit about my mom, saying she was a liar and turned us against him, and mumbling nonsense. Apparently his brother, my uncle that I have never had a relationship with, would no longer give him money but would wire transfer him money for me. He told his brother I needed $1,500 and told me he would take $500 and give me $1,000. His crappy burner phone ran out of minutes, so one of the calls to his brother was made from my phone. Of course he didn't have an ID or anything, so I would need to pick it up with him. When someone wires you money they get a code, then give you the code and you get the money. My dad wouldn't give me the code until we were physically at the place to pick it up, which we planned to do the following morning. The next morning I decided to text my uncle since I now had his number and ask him directly for the code. I got the code, picked up the money and blocked my piece of shit dad. He made sure to leave me some deranged voicemails about how big of a piece of shit I am. He pretty much used me to get money from his brother. If he really wanted to be in my life he would have taken the proper steps to do so and change, but he never did. I'm not denying what I did wasn't shitty, but also fuck my dad. My uncle does well financially and obviously was fine with sending me money, which at the time I definitely needed. I didn't help scam my uncle. He thought he was sending money to go to me and help me out. The money went to me, not my dad, and helped me out. And of course I thanked him.